I think that I think social networking is really important. I think it's been something that I've enjoyed doing. Love it or hate it, it works. Whether it be interacting with the fans, there be an issue with the racetrack, and if you want to have a little bit of a stab at the whoever it is, indoors, outdoors, it gets back to you. They don't like that 40-something thousand people get told that there's an issue on the racetrack, and so like I'm able to share my own personal opinion, and it's not shaded or somebody else has twisted to it, so I'm good with it. If people hate my comments on Twitter, then that's good, because that's me, and that's sometimes I'm having fun, sometimes I'm serious, and I feel that the fans are being really accepting to it, and they enjoy it, and it's hard, like the more popular and the more people that follow you, the more questions, and the harder it is to reply to each and every one of them. But when you're in hotels alone by yourself, majority of the time, it's fun to sit around and have somewhat somebody to talk to. Yeah, I think 2-2 is doing really, really well. I think with our relationship with Shift and Fox, you see so many hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all that kind of stuff. FX is doing great job with the graphics and everything. So it's rewarding, I think, just in a way that you can look at it all and be proud. Just to think that in a short year ago we were we're out here at the test tracks in a pickup truck, literally just scrambling, buying bikes, commuting between Corona and PC. So yeah, we've come a long way, and I think that the fans have been able to, through social media and being a little more open to it and it being more enjoyable, I think that they've had access to it. I feel like they feel a part of it. They've seen it come from basically an idea of where literally people were sending me gear, and I was trying it, and I was sharing it with them, and riding all the different kinds of motorcycles and things like that. So we've definitely come a long way, and I'm really proud of it. I don't know if I would say that I'm mentoring Dean. I feel like I'm just a friend. Like being 29, I don't want to say I'm old or feel old, but you definitely been there and done that a lot. I feel like Dean and I have a lot in common in the fact that he wasn't born and raised in the U.S. So I feel like his upbringing in Scotland and Canada, I feel is definitely a lot closer to what my upbringing was. His mom and dad are just the raddest two people I know. Just remind me a lot of my own family. And Dean himself is just a great kid. I think he works really, really hard, committed to what he does, and to see him grow from beginning of outdoors to the end of outdoors was quite exciting. I felt like I was a part of it in the fact that I watched it, but I don't feel that I was the reason why he won, or it was like this set out plan that I was going to mentor this kid to be a champion. I think that he works hard, and he was going places with or without me. So just proud to have him as a good friend, and to get to meet his family. Fastest rider, I would say Supercross. James is the fastest that I've ever had to race, and then I would say outdoors, RC. Honestly, no disrespect to James and or RV, but nobody holds a candle to RC. I think he's just. And I wouldn't say that was year in and year out, but I would say the 04 season, when he came back from knee surgery and his first year on the Honda with the 4-stroke, he was just unbelievably fast. Nobody's gone that fast since then. Not even him, I don't think. But yeah, I would say that as far as overall, RC had the complete package. Indoors, outdoors. But yeah, that would be my opinion. James indoors and RC outdoors. it's important to win this award. I think that it's an award that we don't necessarily have a lot of control over. It's not something that you necessarily at the beginning of the year go, hey, you know, I want to be this, you know, win this award. It's something that I think comes from you being you, doing what you love to do, and you know, just representing yourself and the people around you the best you can. And I feel that, you know, I think the last time I won it was in '09, when I basically went back and raced outdoors again. I think a lot of people, you know, saw that I enjoyed being back at the races, and that I could be me, you know, and I think that it's true again this year. You know, running my own program and having the group of people that I have around me has just been a blast, and I think that just shows in my personality and the fact that I'm enjoying it and can share it with everyone. Have I ever had a stalker? I don't believe so. On Twitter I had some, you know, like an individual that just kept like wanting a reply and wanting a reply. And he was, you know, kind of writing some pretty gnarly stuff. But other than that, I haven't, you know, officially had to go and put like a restraining order on anyone or anything like that. So my answer would be not yet. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, you know, me included, complaining about the tracks and things like that. You know, it just, I think a lot is involved. The fact that, you know, our bikes have come a long way, and you know, and tracks, to their credit, I think that they're getting a lot of pressure from fans that they want the races to be longer. So I think that what Feld does for that, they try to make the lap longer. So therefore they try to slow down the racetracks, try to put more racetrack in, and a lot of times that just comes to, you know, a lot of stop and go, a lot of kind of one-line racetracks. You know, I think it's, you know, you're happy that they're trying to do something and they're trying to make a stand and obviously step it up. But in my opinion, I think that you got to keep things somewhat basic. You know, I think that you can build a technical racetrack that can be safe and both enjoyable for everyone at all levels. And I just think that they haven't found that balance and that happy medium yet. If they want, you know, longer races and they, you know, they want to kind of appeal to the pressure from the fans, then bump up the laps 2 to 3, 4 laps, 5 laps. You know, like that's what I say. It's kind of one of those things. I think, you know, we're getting faster, obviously, so the lap times keep dropping. The bikes are getting better every year, but the obstacles are basically the same as what they always have. So that'd be my input, you know. And individually, all the riders, I mean, we all give our input. It's not like we just attack them on social media. I think, you know, we all try to work with them more closely, and I believe that they take our information on as best they can, and it just depends on how that communication goes from the higher ups to the track builders. I mean, I think that it's one of those things, you know, like you really don't want to go back and drag up old stuff, but obviously the question, I always try to answer it. In my personal opinion, you know, James is obviously in trouble with the law, being dealt with by that. My biggest thing is, you know, had it been NASCAR, Formula One, or the elite sports that we all look up to, you know, maybe the federations maybe would have done something, or at least what I criticize, mentioned it, and actually make it be known to the public, you know. And what I think is, you know, we happened to go to a race that happened to be, you know, controlled by Feld 100%, and basically James and his people, Yamaha, everyone went to the Feld and basically threatened them and said, hey, don't let it out, you know, and nothing's to be talked about. And you know, and the fact that, you know, one of our, you know, series stars, one of the biggest stars, you know, is in jail, and then watch TV the next weekend, and you would never know about it. And that's what I criticize, you know, like, is it the same, you know, if a less of guy and the guy that didn't have the power that James Stewart had, would he have the luxury of it going and getting pushed under the rug? That's what I question. I don't think he needed to be sat out and miss a race or anything like that. I think the personal humiliation that he had to go through and the embarrassment of showing up at the next race, you know, being thrown in jail for, you know, impersonating a cop, and then none of us were there, you know, so we don't really know the real situation, and so you got to respect that, you know, it probably went down completely different than what the media and what everybody foresees it going down. But I think that you know, it should have definitely been mentioned on TV, and it should have been a big deal. I think, you know, I think the most challenging thing about us is races, motocross, supercross. I would probably say it's got nothing to do with the riding side of things. You know, the travel, the lifestyle that you live, the forever, just no time off. You know, a lot of time away from your family. I think that's the hardest thing. A lot of times you're somewhat requested to act like a robot, and you know, you got to think that, you know, we're always human first, athlete second. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, but we're most of the time expected to be perfect and not to make mistakes and not say the wrong thing. So the pressure that brings is what I would say is the hardest thing. My book will be released. It'll be sometime in 2012. It was going to be September, October 2011. But I was just so slammed with, you know, trying to wrap my head around my Millville crash, trying to, you know, basically get everything sorted for 2012 with my deals and, you know, traveling from race to race and then getting ready for donations, going to donations, coming back and quickly jumping on a plane and going back to Australia. And Ellie and I were just, you know, our tanks were full and we just needed to kind of step away from it. It was kind of somewhat taken away from some of the things that I needed to do best, which was, you know, race a motorcycle. And when the book comes out, you know, I want it to be, in my words, as close as possible, and something that I'm very proud of, and I can look back at, you know, whether it's my friends, family, my son, you know, whoever reads it, know that it's what I kind of experienced and what I went through. So the editing part was just, it was a long process, and so I delayed it at least a year. So right now the plan is put it out in 2012, kind of towards the end, probably end of summer here in the U.S. It's always hard to juggle, you know, race team commitments, racing commitments, you know, all that thrown in with your family life. But a lot of the guys, and you know, Davo and everybody does a great job, and it takes a lot of that, you know, weight and pressure off my shoulders. Probably the biggest thing that I criticize myself is, you know, I always like to be there. I always like to play a role in it, and so that it's, at the end of the day, it's everything that I made the decision. So, you know, Tate's 1.5, and he's demanding more and more time, and obviously he's becoming more and more aware of the fact that, you know, I'm his dad, and he obviously likes to play, you know, a certain way, and wants to go out and ride his bicycle, and you know, when you know, you get on the phone and you FaceTime or something like that, you know, he's kind of, you get that feeling that he's kind of like, what are you doing on my phone, you know, like, what, let's play, let's hang out. So it's getting more difficult for me, I would say. But in that respect, I say the team's growing, and with the team growing, yeah, it's more work, but you also hire more people to try to lessen the load on me as well. So I feel like we're teeter-tottering, and we're trying to, you know, have a steep learning curve so that I can, you know, spend quality time with family, and also achieve what we want to achieve with the race team. I think being a father just brings perspective to your life. You know, I think a lot of people, yeah, especially since my Millville crash, kind of question the fact that, you know, since that crash, now I'm thinking about Tate and the family, and you know, sure, you think about them, but it's not true. When at the end of 2010, you know, I tried to digest the whole passing of my friend Andrew McFarlane, and then being a new father and all that kind of stuff. You know, like I said, and I committed to myself that's the life you want to live. You know, as long as I'm ready to wake up in the morning and live on that edge, is as long as I'll put my shift gear on and throw on my A-stars and get out there and give it my all. So I'm as committed as ever, probably enjoying it more than ever, and having Tate, you know, basically at 1.5 years old, freaking me out because, you know, he does all these motorcycle noises, and, you know, he has K-Dub and motorcycles, my own motorcycles, and rides his bicycle. So I don't see motor racing coming to an end anytime soon in our family. So it's given me everything that I have today, and I'm appreciative of it and respect it, and yeah, more committed as ever have been.